Alright guys, today we're gonna be reacting to without one German product, modern civilization will collapse. We're gonna jump into this and see what kind of product are we talking about. Let's jump in.
They are the heart of cell phones, computers, cars. A chip is made up of transistors, tiny switches 10,000 times smaller than a human hair that control the flow of electrons through a circuit. Billions of transistors are packed into an area smaller than a fingernail. Microchips are one of humankind's most remarkable achievements, and it wouldn't be possible to make the world's most sophisticated chips without the German company Zeiss.
Zeiss.
In a previous video, I talked about how the Dutch firm ASML is the only company in the world that builds the machines that create the circuitry for the most advanced chips. These machines wouldn't be able to operate without Zeiss mirrors inside of them. These are not your average mirrors. They're a complex optical system that miniaturizes the structure of a chip printed on a silicon wafer. Light is projected through a blueprint of the
It's true, man. Everything does require a chip. Almost everything. Everything.
pattern that will be printed. Zeiss optics focus
Oh, wow.
the pattern onto the wafer, which has already been coated with a light-sensitive chemical. It shrinks the pattern down to the nanometer level. A
Wow.
nanometer is 1/billionth of a meter. In the end, the wafer is cut into small pieces of microchips. While ASML's less advanced chip-making machines use lenses to focus light,
That's crazy.
lenses won't work for its most advanced lithography machines because these machines use extreme ultraviolet light, which lenses would absorb.
What is that? Is that the sun?
EUV is a shorter wavelength of light than that used by conventional
Wow.
chip-making machines.
That's the sun, right?
EUV light can help pack more transistors onto a chip, making the chip more powerful. Since Zeiss cannot use lenses for the most advanced machines, it uses mirrors. A series of ultra-reflective, curved mirrors guide the light in a vacuum chamber. The mirrors need to be extremely flat because even the smallest irregularity leads to imaging errors. We're not talking about your typical level of smoothness. They are hyper smooth. If you were to enlarge the
Hyper-smooth.
mirror to the size of Germany,
They are hyper smooth. That's smoother than smooth.
then the tallest mountain would be less than 1 millimeter high. Zeiss makes the flattest mirrors on Earth. They are held in a position as precisely as possible during the exposure process. They are so stable that if a Zeiss mirror were to redirect a laser beam and aim it at the moon, it would be able to hit a ping pong ball on its surface. ASML knows how crucial Zeiss is to its entire operation. It's no wonder that in 2016, ASML bought a €1 billion stake in a subsidiary of Zeiss, purchasing 25% of the shares of Carl Zeiss SMT. Zeiss and ASML pretty much have no rivals. Every one
So
of the
they're
most advanced
So
chips
basically, they're monopolies. Well, monopoly will be one, right? So they're basically controlling the market. At this pace, they're controlling the market.
on Earth has passed through their system. They supply Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. TSMC makes 5 nanometer chips and is striving to make even smaller 3 nanometer ones.
But you know what's crazy? That's interesting. Back in the days when they started making video games, their chips were very big, right? And there was a shortage of chips during the late 80s and the beginning of the 90s. So that's interesting that we have gotten to this point where they're looking to make it as small as possible.
The strategic partnership between Zeiss and ASML means the barrier to entry for potential competitors is exceedingly high.
Wow.
Other manufacturers could try to build their own
could try.
EUV lithography
They could
machines.
try, but
However, if China does want to build a machine that could rival Zeiss and ASML's, analysts believe it would take at least 10 years for them to do so.
wow.
Trouble is, China cannot access the most advanced equipment from Zeiss and ASML right now
Wow.
because the
Why?
Trump administration pressed ASML hard to block sales of its most advanced EUV lithography machines to China. And the Biden administration has broadened chip restrictions against Beijing, which I discussed in a previous video that I'll link in my description.
Yeah, that's interesting. You never think about it, but there is actually a shortage for chips. So that's interesting.
Since Zeiss was founded by German entrepreneur Carl Zeiss in the mid
Carl Zeiss.
1800s, it has grown to secure the advantage in optics on the world stage.
Wow.
Yet, it's not sitting comfortably. Zeiss is already working on next generation optics by increasing the numerical aperture. The numerical aperture is a measure of how much light the optical system can collect and focus. The increase in the numerical aperture will significantly
Oh,
improve.
look at that, right? Like, look at those lines. Wow. This is very complex, but at the same time, like I don't know how to explain. I don't know if those are real lights. I don't
The
even know.
resolution.
But it looks like
Improving
they're
the
real light.
resolution will increase the number of transistors that can be packed onto the chip, making it even more powerful. And as our future moves toward autonomous driving, artificial intelligence, and 5G and beyond, you can bet there will be a demand for ever more powerful processors and the machines that make them. Building the world's most powerful lenses and mirrors would not be possible without talented engineers. If you'd like to improve your math, science, and computer science skills to help build the future, or simply for your own personal pleasure, Brilliant is a great way to brush up on your STEM skills. I know my viewers especially love their scientific thinking course, where you can
It's more like an ad, right?
you have to put things in the correct place. And it's free.
Yeah, very interesting. Wow, that was an interesting video, man. Wow, that's very interesting. Let's see what people said about this. Science is also a very interesting company regarding its corporate structure. There are no shareholders, and it is completely owned by the Carl Zeiss Foundation. All profits are either reinvested into the company and or used to promote mathematics, science, and technology. Wow. They are the real deal, man. Joke aside, the American Institute of Micro Equipment Development made a copper thread so small it's barely visible with a microscope. They believe that they have created the thinnest metal object ever, but they couldn't be sure. So they sent out three of them by mail to the other three best institutes of the same level in the world. One in Japan, one in Switzerland, and one in Germany. The Swiss people returned the package stating that they can create a thinner object, but not made of metal. The Japanese package came back after a week stating that they had tried to create a replica but didn't succeed. After 2 months, the German package came back with just the original thread in it, in a letter. Hey folks, we didn't know why you have sent us this or what we're supposed to be doing with it, so we have fun and drill a few holes in it. Greetings. Wow. Well, interesting. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. That's supposed to be something. Either way, that is very interesting, folks. Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion about the invention of microscope chips, or mine or tiny chips. Huge invention for today's technology. Man, I'll see you in the next one.